In our SWOT analysis, we will first address the strengths in which Twitter has. One of their largest expenditures in past years has been research and development. This spending has been an effort to enhance the current Twitter experience. This could be geared towards things including updating software that Twitter currently uses, or identifying where consumers are and where there is potential for growth. Another strength of Twitter's is having a large and diverse user base. This has attracted more potential consumers. As we all know, numerous celebrities have Twitter accounts, not to mention many companies have Twitter accounts as well to promote their products and services. This allows the well-diversified user base to contribute to the fact that Twitter presents a wide range of opinions in allowing a free forum for people to express their thoughts. Also, we have seen that Twitter had a boost in popularity with this year's presidential election, with President Trump often voicing his views via tweets. Lastly, Twitter has established a brand that many people are familiar with. It is now a household name, which has attracted more users to join. Their free forum allows for many new ideas to be contributed and built upon. Twitter's strategy with their large investment in R&D is to stay ahead of their competitors by adapting the newest technologies. This is a key aspect in order to stay competitive within the social media industry. New trends are constantly evolving, so it is important that Twitter recognizes these and implement them in their strategy to build a larger customer base. We'll now proceed to talk about Twitter's weaknesses. One of the most significant weaknesses we found with Twitter is that trust in the company is at an all-time low. These have reported negative net income over a consistent number of periods. This is due to them being unable to capitalize on the product they are presenting as opposed to their competitors. Also, Twitter is a fairly uniform product, while other companies are adapting to produce a similar form on their sites. Therefore, it is important for Twitter to identify their distinctive competitive advantages and present these to consumers. They will need to find other sources of revenue or figure out how to monetize their product more effectively. Lastly, Twitter has not introduced new updates aside from allowing the streaming of Thursday night football games. Other competitors like Facebook are taking steps to diversify their brand, while Twitter has struggled to do so. Some strategies in regards to these weaknesses is to replace the current CEO. It is our belief that we need a new head of the company in order to have a more innovative view of where Twitter can advance in the future. It would be seen as disastrous if some of Twitter's current users elect to abandon Twitter for other social media sites. Since revenues are already weak, we need to show existing consumers why Twitter is diverse from other brands in order to retain them. One way in which we plan on doing this is to use our current advantages over incoming competitors. A main strength of our focus is the fact that Twitter has more news and opinion posts from notable public figures than any other platform. Next, we will be presenting the opportunities that we see in the social media industry. We see plenty of opportunity in the industry where Twitter has not been able to capitalize. For instance, social media companies are becoming the go-to realm for daily news and updates as tweets are posted in real time. Another opportunity that correlates with Twitter's strengths is the expanding role it has in politics. This was evident in the previous year's election with many candidates using Twitter as a forum and following now President Trump. It is a way in which candidates can reach a wide audience in posting their opinions on certain issues. A statistic we found in our research is that 50% of brand followers are more likely to buy a product after following it on social media. This is also seen as a large opportunity in that it will attract more companies to pay Twitter to advertise on the site. Third-party advertisement is one of Twitter's main sources of revenue, so if companies experience an increase in sales from advertising on Twitter, then we can expect Twitter to benefit from this. Next, with Twitter allowing information to be posted in real time, we see an opportunity for news sources to use it as a main platform. As expressed in other sections, many people use Twitter as their main source of news updates. If more companies reporting news got on board with Twitter, then we were likely to see an increase in users. Lastly, in our evolving world, more countries and people are gaining access to the internet. We know that one of Twitter's main focuses in the future is to expand globally. This is possible if more people are gaining access to the web. Ultimately, the market for consumers is expanding due to this trend. One strategy we have in regards to these opportunities is to diversify our brand by noting that news often hits Twitter faster than it is reported on other platforms. In addition to this, the widespread user base of Twitter allows us to gain knowledge of news in other countries, which sometimes we are not exposed to. Having this first access intrigues more people to join Twitter, and the initial reactions that people have to events often shape the public's perception. Twitter has been seen as a news outlet and can entice feedback from a number of end users and provide different viewpoints not presented on other news sources. We can also see the reactions of our most idolized celebrities have in regards to these events, and it gives us an in-depth look at the personalities of the people who we follow. Lastly, we will convey what we see are the biggest threats to Twitter. First, social media companies are more and more alike, which means that if Twitter cannot adapt to new trends, then customers will find substitutes and ultimately will lose its niche in the industry. Next, there's a high threat of potential new entrants with the increasing amount of innovation in today's world. There are countless apps out there that social media users can utilize, which is an enormous threat to Twitter if they don't distinguish themselves by capitalizing on their strengths. This is an enormous threat to Twitter as they have an extremely fickle customer base. An increasing number of competitors doesn't bode well for Twitter, so it is imminent that they make changes to ensure that they don't get pushed out of the industry. In order to address these threats, Twitter needs to take a large focus on their current strengths and present them to consumers. If they are able to successfully do so, then they can retain current consumers and build on that. This intertwines with our idea of replacing the current CEO. We need to find someone with a different viewpoint on how to evolve Twitter, as we have seen a series of dismal years. Also, we believe that continuing to invest in R&D can prove beneficial by enhancing the technologies behind Twitter's interface and providing a more intriguing platform for potential newcomers.